Aloha and good morning from Moss Creek. We are about ready to set sail, that is to say, we're about ready to leave the creek. You can see it's getting cold out, the water is warm, the air is cold. Got some mist in the morning, but it's a beautiful sunny day and it's not windy. We sat out the strong winds from yesterday and about ready to head off. So join us for another boat story here on Mahalo as we head south on Lake Kentucky on the Tennessee River. In this episode of our Boat Stories Great Loop Adventure, we leave our protected anchorage at Moss Creek on Kentucky Lake and head south on the Tennessee River before we drop anchor at the secluded Richland Creek Anchorage. Aloha, we are Sava, Cynthia, and Alex, along with our two dogs, Lucy and Shadow. We're traveling America's Great Loop, a 6,000-mile North American waterway from Florida to Canada and back down via the Mississippi. Follow us on this journey on our boat called Mahalo. Just gonna take the flag off, get it unwound. That's our looper flag. That's our boat story flag. Really wish I had a cover for it as well. Yep. See, there you have it. Alright, so Alex is about ready to clip. Oh, your up button doesn't work. We have to replace that, right, Alex? Okay. Alright, so you can unclip the bridle. Yeah, we have a new up button, but yeah, they do wear out after a while. I should clip it right over here. Okay. All right, so now that that's done, let's go and lift up the anchor. Let's go lift up the anchor. Go ahead and pull it up. Aloha. So this morning, Alex is actually taking it out of the anchorage for the first time. On his own, driving the boat. We pulled the anchor up. It was full of mud. There's still mud on it. He's trying to get us onto Lake Kentucky from our anchorage. And it looks like it's nice and smooth out here. Should be a good day. Aloha! Beautiful day on Lake Kentucky. We just left that cove. There was another cove. Lots of little places to anchor. The water is smooth. Lots of houses on that side right there, and behind us, that's Lock Kentucky right there, Kentucky Lock. All right, we've got several hours ahead. We figure we're just gonna go until we get tired and then we'll pull over. That's an easy day right on this Sunday. That's what we're doing. And someone just a little faster than us. No, they just have a very big boat and like 1,400 horsepower, maybe 1,600. They need to get to their fishing hole really, really quick. Pretty cool though.
Good morning, guys. We are going down the Tennessee, well no, now we're on, what is the Tennessee River. We got a looper boat coming up behind us. One of our friends. They're going a lot faster than us, but look at these fall colors. It is just so pretty. And we had 2 nights at that lovely cove. We really hardly rocked at all. In fact, I don't think we did rock. It was as peaceful as could be. No wakes. There were some little fishing boats. People fished, but just lovely. So now we're heading on down. And we're just enjoying all these fall colors. It's been very pleasant. Lots of nice camping sites here.
We spent a week here, I think. I mean, a week or more. I mean, there's so many coves to go into an anchor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get paddleboard out, but it's just too cold. I mean,
Now, having said that, he's in shorts and t-shirt, as am I. But when you first get up in the morning, it's a bit breezy. Now, I did have the windows cracked open just because the fresh air smelled so good. But it's definitely cooler, getting cooler. And we happened to hear, I guess it was Kim Russo, saying that a year ago, at this same date, 2 years ago, the same date, there was frost.
Frost and freezing, yeah.
On the boat. So like when you walked around, it was frost and a little bit slippery. So we want to continue on down, see everything we can.
That was much further south, so we definitely want to start heading south this time. Up ahead, we have the Eggar Ferry Bridge. Yeah, it seems to be one of the few places we've seen. You just saw that fish jump out of the water there. Few bridges we've seen, actually. It's the first bridge we've seen crossing Lake Kentucky here. In the background, if you look over here to our starboard, we have a whole bunch of little sailboats taking advantage of the wind today. So looking behind, we got another looper boat behind us. It's the same one that went through the Kentucky lock with us, and they're on the move today, probably to some marina nearby, but they're behind. Beautiful fall colors. I think Cynthia's already said that, but it's an absolutely beautiful blue sky. Rather brisk a day outside, not that warm. I'm in shorts and t-shirt, but it is not that warm right this moment. I thought of putting a jacket back on. Aloha, pretty view from the back as the sun shines on it rather than filming into the camera. And as we come around, we're going to see all those sailboats. I'll go down here and show you just a quick view of all these little sailboats here just past the bridge on the Lake Kentucky. Cynthia thought maybe they're in a school. It's very possible. They're all going in the same direction. It doesn't appear that they're like doing their own thing, rather they are in a group. It's a beautiful day to go sailing. It probably is not a beautiful day to fall in the water though. I trust that water is cold.
So we're just loving all these pretty colors along the shoreline. I'm not sure that it's showing up in the GoPro, but we're having a feast for the eyes. It's just so pretty. Little sandy beaches, colorful trees, occasional little fishing boats. I see a small fishing craft over there in that cove. And then we're coming up to these big monsters. Two big round, Zav said they're mooring buoys for barges. We have not passed a barge this morning. And so that's what they're for. Here we are passing these mooring buoys for barges. And look at all the colorful birds. There's seagulls, fishing birds. Very interesting. Certainly wouldn't want to run into this though. We were looking to see if there's any kind of lighting for nighttime, hoping that the white is reflective at night. Now this one doesn't have birds on top. It almost looks like a pile of gravel. All the birds are on this one, and this one is like piled gravel or metal. Something I think that discourages birds, because there are no birds on top of this one. Just looking out into this cove right here, you see a number of campers almost directly on the waterfront, literally on the waterfront. We saw an ATV cross over. This whole bay looks like it's accessible by ATV. Alright, so now it's on. So I was trying to get a boat that just passed us. Zav thinks it's really funny. I didn't get it turned on. Lucy, what do you think? She doesn't care. She's like, it's fast boaters. They make a wake and I don't like it. Shadow, you don't like the wake either. He said, no, I don't like it.
Yeah, I think it's the wind's coming from the front. We may have to close up the front.
Zav and Alex are zipping up the hatches because the breeze is coming in. Even though the sun's here, it's not quite warm enough yet.
Just leave this one open, Alex. Just close that one. Close the front one. Okay. Interesting enough, we are having the Garmin actually used it, the autopilot, to drive our boat. But I don't know if you can see it or not, but the buoys right there. It's supposed to be on our starboard side, and we just noticed that it was driving us out of the channel. Navionics, of course, has it marked correctly and guiding us correctly, but the Garmin chart plotter was driving us out of the channel. So we're driving it manually back in and then take over until we feel confident that the chart plotter is going to do it correctly. Another little cove here on Lake Kentucky. It's also pretty. We could film all day long with these colors and beaches, but very, very pretty. Oh, aloha, our first barge of the day here on Lake Kentucky, and another looper behind us. The lake is so big we didn't have to call him and talk to him. Aloha. So we just had a looper boat pass us. Now we have an island here in the middle. It's also a shoaling area, so we have to stay away from it, but it looks pretty cool because there's some actual trees on that island. So it's not just, you know, deserted, so to speak. It is because there's no building on it, but interesting enough, there's trees there, and there's some more islands, little tiny ones, that also have trees on them. All the trees, of course, changing colors, which is absolutely amazing. But it looks like a really fun place in the summertime. One of our first big boats passing us, and it's going to throw quite a wake when it passes. I don't think it's a looper at all. They're going the wrong direction. Not that there is really a right direction for the loop, it's just the majority of people will all go in the counterclockwise direction. This has pretty much been our scenery all day. It's shoreline, color changes, some cliffs coming up, beautiful homes along the way, some marinas, but just a quiet day. No waves, relatively smooth all the way. So these people decided they are going to get their sailboat out, and it's a beautiful day out. They got a little bit of a breeze, just enough to move them, I think, at a very, very leisurely pace. We're not going much faster, so we can't talk. Looks like fun though. Cool bridge here, going under. All concrete, no supports above, it's all below. What is so cool about the Kentucky Lake is that there are so many inlets where you can go and anchor overnight. You can see how smooth it is in there. This is just after the bridge right there, but so many different inlets. We're going to pick one as well. It's about 6 bays down, and then we're going to go pull in to our anchor spot. In the meantime, Alex is watching a little YouTube. Lucy is sunbathing. I think she's getting too hot. We tried to put her in the shade. She decided she wants to go back in the sun. Not sure.
Well, she likes sunbathing.
She likes sunbathing, but she gets too hot, I think. So I keep trying to put her back in the shade. She says, no, I don't want to be in the shade, Daddy. But beautiful day, not windy at all. We've got a little more fetch right now, but it's nothing. I mean, we don't even feel it in this boat. Aloha! We got some cool houses here on the hill. Check this out. We have seen very few so far on this side of the river. But they've got a beautiful view of us. We have a beautiful view of them as well. Got a huge mansion here in front with a beautiful green lawn, and not so small counter mansion here on the left side. Yeah, they got a nice view right up front. Aloha! We're getting closer to the end of our day. I still have a couple of hours to go, but this is only our second barge that we have met on this trip today. and he's empty. He's going pretty quick down this lake here, which is also the Tennessee River. Aloha! More anchorages to go into. A sailboat on our starboard side with his foresail out. We're going straight ahead, and it looks like a bridge that is like, yeah, halfway across the river and then stops. Not sure what the story is with that bridge. Here we have some of those interesting islands right there. Almost looks like a banyan tree there. It's just a tree surrounded by water. Sailboat, and again we have an island just full of trees. Just not sure there's no house on it. And if you were in the Thousand Islands or Canada, you would see a house on everything that has land. I'm not sure why that is the case, why it's empty. So here you see the Danville Ferry. They just came across from that side to that side, and there you can see him pulling over, and there's some cars waiting to go over to the other side. The bridge you see there is an old railroad bridge built in 1860, and it did get involved in the Civil War, and part of it was demolished and new sections were built. And in fact, underneath here there used to be a town called Danville, but when the Kentucky Dam was built, they flooded this lake and the whole town of Danville had to move, which is now underwater. And with it went the transfer business, and yeah, the railroad did operate until 1983, and then it was abandoned finally, and sections were taken off and floated away. The railroad sold all this land. It's now privately owned with houses. But it's just interesting to see two bridges right there, two bridge portions still standing. So here we see the ferry backing up already. It looks like they may have already loaded a car and their passengers onto the ferry, ready to cross. Here we see a little bit closer of the ferry passing us from behind, as we are about ready to pass this two sections left over of the bridge, which all began in 1860. Now that house you see right behind the bridge used to be a transfer station. That's where the river boats used to come up and bring their goods, and there used to be an elevator that took it up to the top of the railroad tracks up here, and then continue on between Nashville and Paris, Kentucky. So this is that's what I understand the story to be. And of course, underneath here somewhere is Danville, underneath this lake. The whole town is under the lake. So here's the building, which I believe was the transfer building, where the river boats from the Tennessee River used to pull up and then transfer their goods both ways, from the railroad to the river boats, and from the river boats to the from the railroad to the river boats. Pretty cool. Aloha! We have our creek in sight, or a bay in sight, or Anchorage in sight. About 4.5 miles down on the left hand side we have Richland Creek, and that's where we're going to anchor tonight. The moon has been out all day. Not sure what the story is with the moon, but it's been out. It's been a beautiful day. We got about what are you, Alex, 1-footers here crawling behind us? Yeah, less than 1 foot. They haven't bothered us at all. They're coming from behind, and we should be pulling in there hopefully in the next 45 minutes or so. So we should be there. Here in the distance you can see Turkey Creek Marina. I don't know anything about them, I just know it's there. That's all. We're going to be going one more cove down, and that's going to be us. Some of the homes we're seeing here as we approach our Richland Creek Cove, straight up ahead. The north side of that creek is showing a little bit shallow, so we're going to go to the south side of that entrance and then make a turn into the creek. The last thing we need to do is run aground today, so we plan not to do that, right, Alex?
Yeah.
We've come too many miles with no injury to the boat. Further down, you can see another big barge. Looks like a double barge with what 6, 12, maybe 15 barges to that tug. So we're gonna go straight ahead and then make a left turn, but we're gonna go down further. Aloha, this is what the Anchorage looks like, and that's Cheers, I believe, is in there right now, one of the other fellow loopers. We will be turning in there in just a moment. We're just going to avoid the shallow area here and go into the deeper spot over there, and then go in that way. We just told the barge that we're going to be out of his way, otherwise he wanted us to pass on the port side. But not tonight. We are done. We've put in our 9 some odd hours for today, and we are done. So we got Alex is ready in the front to put that anchor down. Cynthia just showed, and there you see our anchorage. It looks like they put some private markers here where the channel begins, which is what I said. This is all look very shallow on Navionics, and so we're trying to avoid that. And it looks like there's a marker right there, so we're going to go and make a left turn there.
So we are turning off Lake Kentucky. Some beautiful big homes here. We're talking 3-story homes. We're talking lake homes. Parked on hillsides here. Covered boat houses for some of them all the way down. Very nice. Give you a view of Alex, who's ready. There's a bird flying in. There's some other homes on this side of the cove. And the water looks so nice and smooth as the deeper in we go. So that's nice.
Called Richland Creek. Richland Creek. If you look on Active Captain or Navionics, Richland Creek is the Anchorage. And I picked it only because of the shelter, because the wind is supposed to come from the east later on, and right now it's coming from the north. But it looks like it's protected, and Cynthia just showed you how smooth it is out there. So it looks like there is some wind protection over there.
I think you guys told the story already online that it was so tight you didn't want to break your windlass this morning.
Yeah, I had to pull it out with a boat. Free it with a boat. Check out the cove in there. But there is more fetch because the wind is coming from the north, so you can see the ripples on the water.
Yes. But the fall colors are just so pretty, especially when the sun's hitting it. And the moon's already up. These little personal markers they've put in here look like birthday candles sticking up out of the water. Yeah. Birthday candles. So here we're getting closer. We're going to go past the other looper boat. At least that's our plan based on the depth. So I was keeping an eye on the depth finder. Where are we at? How many? What's our depth?
9 feet below the keel, so about 12 feet.
Okay.
13 feet.
You can see the close of the day. He's taking down the
time-lapse camera.
Time-lapse camera.
Yep, it starts again tomorrow. GoPro turn off. Routine in the evening. What's the depth?
Thank you, Alex.
We had a lot of insects the last Anchorage, so we want to make sure we button it up really quickly so we don't get too many bugs in.
Alex, we're still filming. Can you show them what you do over here?
Yep. You lift up these tabs. There we go.
And headsets off.
And headsets off. Aloha and welcome to Richland Creek. See the sun behind. I don't want to stare directly at it. And there's Cheers, another looper boat. We're in about 10 feet and it's very quiet back here. I mean, I can picture this if this were summertime. I'd still be jumping into the water. Not at this point, it's already getting too cold. But I can see a paddleboard or something like that, stand-up paddleboard coming out. Beautiful, 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 beautiful creek. Hey, thank you for joining us on this journey. All the way from, where do we start to Moss Creek, right? On Kentucky Lake, down here, down the Tennessee River, coming all the way here to Richland Creek. Join us again as we continue further south on the next one. In the meantime, as always, please give us a thumbs up. A lot of you have been doing it. It's been making a big difference to our little channel. Please subscribe, tell your friends if you're interested or have questions, comments, please put it down below. We try to answer every question and comment that we get. You all have a good night, and we'll see you again as we continue south on the Tennessee River.